The bazaar of Orus 9 was a place where mercy came to die. Beneath the cracked glass dome that once shielded the colony from the red storms, traders shouted prices in 10 languages, their voices echoing off rusted steel. The air reeked of oil, sweat, and desperation. Humans, aliens, hybrids, everyone came here to sell something, even their own dignity. And among them stood Lyra. She held her sister close, thin, trembling, bones pressing through pale skin that shimmered faintly under the marketplace lights. The girl's breathing was shallow, her lips colorless. Lyra brushed a lock of silver hair from her sister's forehead. "Stay awake, Sina," she whispered. "Just a little longer." Sina tried to smile, but her voice was barely a breath. "I'm not hungry anymore, Lyra." Lyra's throat tightened. That was the first lie hunger taught the dying. She looked up. Around her, humans haggled over alien trinkets and slaves, their laughter sharp and cruel. Lyra had come to the only place left that might buy her, and keep Sina alive a little longer. She pushed through the crowd toward the traders' enclave, where off-world buyers from the human sectors inspected exotic stock. She had heard rumors, wealthy humans paying absurd amounts for alien servants, companions, and curiosities. The fattest, richest ones were said to prefer the rarest species, and she and Sina were the last of theirs. A guard blocked her path, a thick-necked man with cybernetic eyes. "Back off, Glimmerskin," he barked. Lyra swallowed her fear. "I'm here to sell," he laughed. "You? You've got nothing to sell but that skeleton beside you." Lyra lifted her chin. "Then I'll sell myself." That got his attention. The guard looked her over, his mechanical eyes whirring softly. Then he snorted. "Wait here." He disappeared inside. Sina tugged weakly at her sister's arm. "Don't do this, Lyra." Lyra knelt and took her hand. "If I can get food, medicine, you'll live." Sina's eyes shimmered with tears. "And you?" "I'll live knowing you're safe." Moments later, the guard returned. "Trader's curious. Go in." Inside the trader's den, the chamber beyond was cooler, filled with smoke and holographic price boards. At the center sat a human trader, fat, bald, with a neck like a stack of rings. His greasy fingers toyed with a golden chalice. His eyes, small and pig-like, glimmered with greed. "So," he said, smiling too widely, "you're offering yourself for sale?" Lyra bowed her head. "Yes," he chuckled. "And why me, little starling? You've got finer faces out there." She looked him dead in the eyes. "Because the fattest and ugliest human must be the richest, and I need your money." The trader's laughter shook his jowls. "Honesty. How refreshing." He leaned forward. "You sell yourself. What do I get?" "I can read your trade codes, pilot small ships, and heal. My kind learned medicine before humans left Earth." He smirked. "And the little one?" Lyra hesitated. "She's my sister. She's sick. Useless then." Lyra's hands clenched. "If you buy me, you'll feed her. That's the deal." He laughed again, but there was interest behind the cruelty. "And if I refuse? Then I'll walk into the storm with her." The trader stared for a long moment. Then with a grunt he waved a hand. "Fine, I'll buy you. 500 credits. Enough to feed your sister if you're quick." Lyra bowed deeply. "Thank you." The bargain they moved quickly. The trader transferred the credits. Lyra handed them to Sina's trembling hands. "Go to the med ward in the East Quarter. They'll treat you. Show them this." Sina clung to her. "No, I won't leave you." Lyra smiled through tears. "You'll live. That's all that matters." She pressed her forehead against her sister's. "I'll find you again. Sina, I promise." The guards pulled Lyra away. Sina's cries echoed through the corridor until they were lost beneath the noise of the bazaar. Servitude. The trader's name was Garin Vale, a merchant known for cruelty masked by charm. He took Lyra aboard his transport ship, the Gilded Maw, where servants wore shock collars and the air stank of spice and sweat. Lyra worked without rest, cleaning, decoding trade manifests, tending to Garin's wounds after drunken brawls. He was everything she'd expected, greedy, gluttonous, and cruel. Yet she endured it. Every night she whispered Sina's name to the stars, praying the credits had reached her in time. Weeks passed, then months. One evening, as she was tending Garin's quarters, he said, "You've been loyal. Most slaves break by now. Why haven't you?" "Because I made a promise," she said quietly. He poured wine down his chin as he laughed. "To who, the little one?" "She's probably dead by now." Lyra froze. Garin grinned. "Or maybe she got herself sold too. Pretty thing like her could fetch a good price, even sick." Lyra's hands trembled. What do you mean? I own half the med wards on Oris 9, he said lazily. Anyone treated there becomes property if they can't pay full price. Your sister wouldn't have survived without the meds. So yes, she's alive. And she's mine. The room went silent. Lyra stared at him, horror twisting through her chest. He leaned back. Be grateful. You both serve the same master. That night she didn't sleep. She lay awake staring at the ceiling. Her pulse pounding like fire, her sister alive, but enslaved. She had to act. The escaped Lyra waited until the ship docked again on Oris 9. She'd memorized every corridor, every code Garen used. When the guards drank themselves senseless, she slipped into the cargo bay, stealing a blaster and a pack of credits. But first, she went to find Sina. The med ward was in the slums, reeking of disinfectant and despair. She found her sister in a metal cell, pale but alive, an IV glowing faintly at her arm. Sina gasped when she saw her. Lyra! Lyra hugged her tight. I'm here. We're leaving, but how? Trust me. She broke the lock, carrying her sister through the shadows of the city. The storm outside had begun, red dust swirling under the twin moons, but freedom was never simple. The chase. The alarm went off before they reached the outer gates. Garen's voice roared through the comms. Bring them back! Both of them. Drones swarmed overhead, searchlights cutting through the storm. Lyra fired blindly, clutching Sina close as they ran. A blast struck nearby, throwing them into the dust. Lyra shielded her sister's body, coughing blood. Keep running, she whispered. Sina tried to move but stumbled. Lyra dragged her toward the canyon beyond the market. They could hear Garen's heavy footsteps behind them, his laughter booming. You think you can escape me, Starling? I own this planet. Lyra turned, raising her weapon. Then you'll die with it. She fired, not at him, but at the fuel towers lining the dock. The explosion tore the sky open. Fire and sand rained down, swallowing the marketplace in chaos. Garen screamed as debris crushed him beneath molten steel. The aftermath. Lyra woke hours later beneath a shattered dome. The storm had passed. Everything was quiet. Sina lay beside her, breathing weakly but alive. We did it, she whispered. Lyra smiled faintly. For now. They limped away from the ruins, the horizon painted in crimson light. Behind them the market burned, the empire of greed collapsing into ash. For the first time in years, the air smelled clean. Months later, the sisters found refuge in a settlement beyond the wastelands. Humans there were poorer but kinder. They lived among miners and farmers, trading healing and repair skills for food. Sina grew stronger. Lyra watched her laugh again, though the memories still haunted her dreams. One evening as the sun set, Sina said quietly, You sold yourself for me. You lost everything, Lyra smiled. Not everything. She looked toward the glowing horizon where the stars began to pierce through the dust. I lost my chains. That's worth more than gold. Epilogue. Years later, travelers spoke of 2 alien women who roamed the border colonies, healing the sick and freeing slaves wherever they went. They said one of them bore a scar down her left cheek, a reminder of fire and freedom. And when the desperate came to her for help, she would only say, Don't beg the rich. Don't sell your soul. Even in the darkest market, there's always a price they can't afford, hope.